Hey Austin, what's wrong? Why are you limping? We played basketball in PE today, and I think I twisted my ankle. It didn't bother me before, but now I'm having a hard time walking. Oh no, do you want me to take to the nurse's office? No, please don't say anything about it to anyone. I have an important game tonight, and if my coach finds out I'm hurt, he won't play me, and I'm afraid lose my starting spot on the team. Austin, that's the least of your concern. If you don't get the ankle checked out, you could make it worse, and plus you can barely walk. How are you going to run for 90 minutes? Can you just take me to the physical trainer office? I can ask him to tape my ankle. That should help. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I really think you should have Nurse Watson take a look at it. She knows that play for the soccer team, and she will tell my coach no matter how small injury is. That's what happened to Teddy. He went to her because he had a headache, but when he showed up for the game later that day, coach told him that he could play. Austin, your health is more important than the soccer game. If you don't go to the nurse, I'm going to tell your coach myself. Alright, fine. Let's go.
Today, we are going to talk about dreaming. People dream while they sleep. Of course, this seems obvious, but sleep is like a Russian nesting doll, where a tiny wooden doll fits inside a little bigger doll, and that doll fits inside a little bigger doll, and so on. The point is this: sleep has many stages within it. So, at what stage of sleep do dreams occur then? Well, it turns out that most of our dreams occur during the deepest stage of sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, or simply REM sleep. And although we know this stage exists, we still have much to learn about it. As a person goes through the successive stages of sleep, all body and mental activity slows down. These stages help the body and mind to rest and recover. After the fourth stage, however, REM sleep begins and mental activity significantly increases. As the name of this stage suggests, the sleeper's eyes begin to move around rapidly. Some scientists think the person is looking at the things in his dreams. Others, however, think the eye moves to keep the brain warm and exercise the eye. Scientists believe that dreams and REM sleep have some specific function. Unfortunately, scientists do not all agree on exactly what that function is. Some scientists think REM sleep occurs when the brain is moving memories from one area to another. Other scientists believe that dreaming allows the sleeper to experience behaviors and emotions not normally encountered in a wakeful state. Finally, a recent theory suggests that dreams are a byproduct of mind cleaning and organizing its neural system. This has been compared to the defragmenting process in computers. As I said, none of these theories are widely accepted, but I think it's worth taking a look at each of them individually.
Throughout history, visual art has tended to be enjoyed mainly by educated people. By the middle of the 20th century, art became so conceptual and complex that very few people could understand them. This is partly because artists no longer painted actual subjects, they painted abstract forms. Some paintings, for example, were only groups of lines. There were even paintings that just had one line across the canvas. However, some artists thought art had become too complex. In 1955, these artists decided to make art that was simple and easily for average people to relate to. Thus, pop art was born. The first thing pop artists did was to paint subjects. The subjects came from everyday life. so they were familiar to average people. A good example of this is Andy Warhol's painting of Campbell soup cans. By using cans of soup as a subject, Warhol showed that a common object segment could be art too. Laura Ritenstein's painting titled Drowning Girl is another good example. Ritenstein used the style of the American comic book to make Drowning Girl. He chose the style because no one thought comic books were art. Comic books were silly stories with shallow pictures for children. But the Drowning Girl, Liechtenstein showed that comic books could be beautiful in their own way. The pop art so also made differently than traditional art. Since traditional art was made by hand, it was very expensive. Pop artists, however, used mechanics to mass produce their art. This changed the art as well as the art. In the past, artists served importantly to make great art. Van Gogh, for example, dies penniless. So for the first time in history, pop artists like Warhol and Liechtenstein became businessmen as well as artists.